Greetings and welcome. I'm Mindy Levokove, your host at our October Poetry and Prose in the 6th Street and Avenue B Garden online. Today we are featuring words by Mindy Matijasevic, Yuko Otomo, and Miriam Stanley. This is the last of our 2020 season's remote poetry and prose events. This is going to be a wonderful one, so just relax and enjoy. Mindy Matijasevic writes memoir, poetry, and her comedy material. Mindy's poetry has been published in numerous print and online journals, most recently in Highland Park Poetry and in the upcoming issue of Home Planet News. Additionally, she was selected for a Brio Award, that's Bronx Recognizes Its Own, from the Bronx Council on the Arts, once for nonfiction literature and once for poetry. Here's Mindy Matijasevic.
Divorce, poor American style. She gets to enjoy exclusive use of the marital residence, otherwise known as the one bedroom she had years before they met. She gets to keep her name, the name her parents gave her. Thank God in this country, she gets to keep her clit too. It's only fair. She let him keep his balls. Okay, next is Okay. It happened gradually over time. My hip size became my waist size. Not the look I was going for. It is the look I got. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, this one's called She Walked Into the Flames. They met. Immediate red flags. So many, it seemed the world was on fire. Did she head to the water? No. She walked into the flames. Stayed too long. Burned her feet. Fried her spirit. Eventually came through. Now she moves around, blistered. Teach the children well. Instead of writing, I will not chew gum in class, and I will not talk in class 100 times, we needed to be writing. I'm a precious and deserving person who should be heard 100 times. Okay. Wear a smile, she said. I don't wear a smile any more than the sky wears the sun. It just breaks through if the clouds allow. Okay. To the women who act like I want their husband, I don't. I didn't want mine, and I don't want yours. If he's willing to cheat on you, treat me like a back alley secret, I don't want him. Not my idea of a good life. Don't want to be his lover, don't want to be his wife. Aye, okay. I'm trying not to put all the negatives together, but a cockroach walked across my computer screen like it had a right to be there. No one to yell to rescue me. It was just me and the cockroach. And like most cocks, it seemed to feel the right to invade. I have several pandemic poems, so this is one of them. May 2020. My problems precede the pandemic. Lack of hugs, not helping. Oh. Living in peace. A woman living alone can come out of a shower, sit, put one leg on another surface, receive the fan's breeze between her legs, not interpreted as an invitation, a tease, a flirt. She can just get some air on her coochie in peace.
Obviously, I'm not gonna know that that's what he's saying.
Okay. Some of these go way back in time, but I still like them. Just another feminist moment in the neighborhood. Walking up Bedford Park, heading to the concourse, woman ahead of me tells man, "Now my fucking hair is all messed up." Her tone says it is his fault. It isn't messed up, he insists. They go back and forth until I get near and he reels me in. Do you think her hair is messed up? I recognize this maneuver. I glance at her hair. Not perfect, not the issue. Her face upset as I would be in her position. It's only what she thinks that matters, I say. It's as if I was preparing for this all my life, able to be for her what I needed to be for me so many times. Surprise washes over her face. Thank you so much. I hear it in her breathing. Between her tone and my eyes, an understood hug. She has her power back. He laughs, genuinely surprised by this outcome. I don't know if he gets it. I know she does. Now, years ago, I would make attempts at writing nature poetry. It didn't always stay with nature, but here we go. Mighty oak in winter. You big, strong, brown, embraceable hunk. The spaces between your limbs, a mosaic of frosty sky, intrigue me as much as your limbs themselves. Brown leaf in February, veiny as legs, curvy like hips that turn heads, curled edges altering its once youthful shape, not too tender, not too tough, seasoned just right, strong as a spirit making its presence known, crunchy yet not brittle, stem bending like tired vertebrae. Bending but not breaking. Sounds like a woman to me. Without a country of our own, or even any particular neighborhood, we are everywhere. We are woven into the tapestry. We bring curves to an angular scene, color to swarms of black and gray, even if it's only a dab of ruby red or sparkling burgundy. We bring roundness to hard edges, spiral thinking to straight lines. Takes longer to get from A to B, but it's a much richer ride. We cry and laugh and remember to love the children along the way. So when they are grown, they'll have something to give. We are woven into the tapestry, keeping it alive and ever-changing. Oh boy. Okay, I was at a writing workshop where a man led, and I guess we all see through our own lens, and this is what happened. At a writing workshop. Trees are phallic, he said. No one could deny it. They are erect. How could anyone not see that? I see the twisting and bending she does, the comfort she provides, her rootedness, endurance, sensual limbs reaching out, becoming 2, 3, 4, if necessary. How could anyone not see that? Are you cold? Here, I open my robe to you. Come in, have a sleeve. I can be your hot cocoa. I see you know how to take comfort. Do you know how to give it too? I know all about giving. It's getting I'm working on. I need to be replenished more regularly than your car. Does that blow your mind? Inconvenience you? Because if it does, I've been with you already. Oh, it may not have been you, but it was you. There's a lot of you out there. So, give me back my sleeve. I need to remove my heart from it. Put it somewhere warmer. Through the cracks of the city's sidewalks, you push up, spotting the urban scene with emerald plushness. I stand in awe of your strength to break through the concrete. Now back to shitty marriage poem. Life math. When was the last time you met a friend and graphed functions? Ordered lunch and solved for unknowns? Tried to figure out the difference between a negative and a positive on a number line? We do it, but without the numbers. We may not graph it, but we sure do function, and have so many functions, with and without patterns. Unknowns are daily and countless. We may not solve for them, but we sure worry about them, get surprised by them, sometimes delight in them. The difference between a negative and a positive is generally happiness. We eventually figure that out even without formulas. Look at what happens when we multiply a negative and a positive. Bad marriages teach that math very well, along with subtraction, as the years crumble away. Okay, this is many years ago when my son was in the stroller, okay? It's called Perfect Gifts. My son shows me the full moon, thrill traveling throughout his little body like the moon was given to him as a gift, which I guess it was. I jumble numbers in my head, subtracting coupons and refund bottles, dig for lost coins in my lining, try to determine whether we need diapers more than milk or milk more than diapers to get through this night. Then there's the moon, my boy's face, pearls against the night sky, both so perfect and beaming, I have to smile. Not for me. He's intelligent, speaks several languages, except the damn truth. Thank you.
Yuko Otomo is a visual artist and a bilingual writer of Japanese origin. She writes poetry, haiku, art criticism, and essays. Her publications include Garden, selected haiku, put out by Beehive Press, Study and other poems on art, put out by Ugly Duckling Press, and the most recent, Anonymous Landscape, put out by Lithic Press. And let's welcome Yuko Otomo.
I am going to read from this book. It's called Anonymous Landscape. It's a one long poem with 200 parts segments. And it was written in Paris, mostly. And this reading is dedicated to Steve Dalachinsky, my one and only. Anyway, this book is about anonymity and namelessness. And I've been reading this book a few times, and now I'm at 49, so today I'm going to start from 50. I don't know how far I can go, but I would try. And every segment has numbers, but I won't say it. I will just give another breath so you will know how the segment's moving. Silence, hunger, no more rain, no concern for names and namelessness. When a storm hit the city at night, I had an untitled dream. All I remember is an image of a drenched, unnamed park bench in the pouring rain. In an ocean of people, I hear my name called. I turn around to look for the source, as others with the same name do. In an ocean of wildflowers, I notice one flower I know the name of and feel so intimately close to it, as if it were my own image reflected on water. I realize I am not quite enough of a verb yet. As I observe clouds move pushed by the residue of last night's storm, I see a small patch of blue in the sky, another name for another color. Another bell ringing, another day of being human. I, in the mirror, gives a note to the other outside it. Neither asks the other, "Who are you?" How do I become more of a verb rather than a noun? I still don't have a clue. The wind blows clouds in, then blows them away. Now more blue occupies the sky. I see birds coming back into view. Again, the wind blows clouds in, and the sky is occupied by the color gray and its variants. How long will this cycle go on? No blue again. Nature auto-prunes itself, and there are small dead branches scattered on the sidewalk. A dead pigeon lies face down, hugging the ground with its wings as if it were mourning its own death. Clouds move swiftly to wherever. I am still not a verb enough. I still don't know how to break through the wall. Empty streets of a quiet Sunday afternoon work perfectly well with my current mode of observation. Store signs hide behind shuttered doors. I enjoy the irony of names losing their inherited contents. If I don't see them, they are just some non-existent visual elements left with no meanings. Almost, not quite. How do I learn to be more of a verb? I need to slow down further. I know that instinctively. How do I slow down? I need to stop reacting to the world around me. Just look at it as if it were a painting. Don't say anything when you are in awe. As I slept, my mind told me to stop thinking. Don't look, don't talk, do nothing and move. And now the dawning is complete. Not quite, almost. In the ocean of tombstones, we look for a specific stone of a recently deceased friend. Except for the basic geography of the section he is buried in this vast cemetery, we have no idea where he is or how his stone looks. We walk around looking for his resting place among hundreds of others who are also resting in the same walled space. Anonymous blue sky changes into anonymous gray sky, and raindrops start to fall here and there. They make wet spots on tombstones, cobblestones, flowers and trees. We take shelter in a small mausoleum with no name, no door, no flowers, with broken floor tiles covered by a mingling of dirt and dry leaves accumulated over many seasons. Graffiti scratched walls say 666 and 999. I was here, I love you, rest in peace, so-and-so loves so-and-so. The nameless memorial protects us from a sudden shower. The weather of this city is it's as temperamental as a flickering light shadow cast by the sun. We see the name of a rock star who died young, but who keeps living with the burden of his name. He never rests in peace since waves of people keep coming to say hello to him. As we wait for the shower to come down, contemplating the fresh brilliance of the new leaves of old trees, I realize we should not be afraid of life nor death. We are part of this moment which is beyond the distinction of the two, nothing else. As anonymous blue sky comes back to occupy the void about us, we resume our search for our friend's stone. We walk among hundreds of stones again, stones with clearly chiseled names and dates of birth, death, stones covered with moss, stones with elaborate statues and decorations that mourn over death itself rather than the dead. The dramatic sense of tragedy is very operatic. This is not a folk song. It is a canto here. After searching for our friend's stone for a while in vain, we realized that we will never find it since he was recently buried and his unveiling has not taken place yet. In the section where he was supposed to be resting, we see 3 new marble stones, fresh and unnamed. We are sure that his is one of them, but we will never know which. We call his name out loud and ask him to tell us which, but the unnamed stones remained unnamed in their absolute anonymity and silence. The freshness of the material alone tells us the newness of the events. Our friend fulfilled his long, adventurous, generous life to its maximum, unlike the star who died young but keeps living with the burden of name fame. The lives of an almost century-old man and the life of a little over a quarter a century young man now live in the same green, flooding walled space with hundreds of others. Without an unveiling, stone is stone. It's just part of the earth, another natural element, nothing else. Another anonymous bell ringing to tell us the height of another day. Haiku. 無名碑に心を添える無名花 Nameless flowers offering hearts to the nameless tombs. 雨粒で無名の墓に名を刻む Raindrops carve names on the nameless tomb. 永遠の無音に響く死者の声 The voice of the dead echoing in the silence of eternity. 七度いらぬ無名碑に沿う千咲花 I don't need a name, a tiny flower next to the unnamed tomb. We don't feel it or notice it, although we know it quite well. We are turning, circling according to the cosmic order all the time. The inaccessibility to the actual sensation of this absolute cosmic reality make us have the illusion of a certain sense of static landscape as an immediate reality. Interestingly, we believe what we see. We don't see a circle in the sun, nor see the earth turning every moment. We see the change in light causing day to break and night to fall. We see the sunset and rise in the landscape that does not move. How can I blame humans who believed that the earth was flat, being carried by an elephant, when they had no access to the scientific knowledge of cosmic reality? So although we call today May 1st, in cosmic reality with no human calendar system, it's just a part of the absolute flow. It's just a part of the movement, a cycle. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. A pool of thousands of people circles around the column commemorating the revolution that took place over almost 2¼ centuries ago. Nobody shouts slogans. Some wave flags, some wave arms, but nobody raised their voice. It's May 1st of the second year of the second decade of our new century. I see people carrying signs that say Liberté, égalité, fraternité, on their silent backs. Three weeks of rain clear up for the day of liberté, égalité, fraternité. People gather together on a massive level without knowing each other. We recognize only a few faces in the pool of humanity. Here, we accept each other's anonymity as a complete norm.
Miriam Stanley has performed her poetry in the United States and Israel. She was part of the Rogue Scholars Poetry Ensemble for 3 years. Miriam's work is in many anthologies, including the Occupy Wall Street anthology. She has 5 collections of poetry published by Rogue Scholars Press.
A conjuring. In the thrift shop, I'm there to buy happiness, donated by the person who died in her sleep, 80 years old and grandkids graduating college. I put on the brown dress, it's cinched at the waist, 100 pleats hang down to call out Kansas. I want to be the woman who wore this dress before motherhood, the lady with the vintage hair and sepia photos, the gal posing in front of the Dodge Dart. I want to be her before she marries, though of course she would. Before the 3 sons, though of course that did happen. Before the recipes of the cardboard cards were placed into the ceramic box, designed with molded blue glazed windows in front. The tchotchke also sold today, perhaps to a sophomore with a run of 8 boyfriends, who yearns for family meals on Formica dinettes, a nostalgia for things she never had. Stories of stability, fabulous as milk teeth, mystical in handling, of voodoo on souls long dead, the peaceful lives we wish to borrow. This is called Maybelline. Epigram. They were always afraid of death, even when they bowed to the Virgin Mary, even preaching afterlife. The truth revealed in epidemic, like a man gone drunk. I myself don't dread the bed that flowers memories of the deceased and its loamed plot. A refrigerator truck, now behind the hospital, a vase of fresh bodies, emptied from the morgue by men, white hazmat attire in this costumed pandemic of abominable snowmen, where good deeds put lipstick on pigs. A crowd bangs pots and pans for medical troops after the worst losses. I caress the debit machine with alcohol wipes. I touch each key with the skill of a doctor. I kill the virus with Procter & Gamble. I am a hero, killing that murderous protein wrapped in fat, puncturing our lungs. Tom waits, barks in the background as YouTube fills the apartment. You don't wait for me, never would wait for me. I work in this world of poison. You have to cover your own skin. I always knew I was alone. Isolation doesn't matter. Red to the color of honey. An epigram. You are the great cat, the avenger of the gods, the judge of words. You are indeed the great cat. Inscription in the Valley of Kings. Millions of mouses sculpt temples, hunt happily, until a priest breaks their tiny necks, snapping the warm breath out of orange. Ginger corpses disemboweled and bombed, wrapped in linen. Minuscule mummies, tens of thousands, buried like yams in the world of Horus. Long bands of cat cemeteries strike the dirt like forest full of fire. Picture marigold, saffron, koi-colored kittens on bright, tattered murals, artifacts unearthed by men tanned the color of curry. Long ago, Persia invaded, cats painted on shields, crowds of tabbies released to the battlefront, unnerving Egyptians who fled the animal spell in the underbelly of Ra's rusty sun. Okay. And this is from a recent trip to Coney Island. Okay. Overcast. Thick quilt of white and gray, the sky silent, the wonder wheel stands abandoned, the cyclone still, tilt-a-whirl, spookorama, destitute. Industrial steel skeletons with dead motors, locked behind a chain-link fence, a bandana on the street. On Surf Avenue, a young drunk begs. Crime and grime coats his hands. He lacks a mask, yells he's hungry. COVID sprayed straight to Nathan's. The boardwalk stretches alone. A woman sits outside the door of a bathroom, sits on her lawn chair, hides in the cave of the stone's building arch, an oracle without kings. I reach the sand, a sienna crust sculpted by this morning's rain. I traipse through sea spray, cool foam shocks the toes. A swimmer far off glides through ocean, cutting the skin of the deep. Tenacity moves her arms, slow as night, a fellow traveler exploring the ghost town. And I work in a psychiatric clinic, and this is a poem from there. Chess at the clinic. We hold the plastic pieces, laugh at the farce of owning royalty. I take his rook, he kills my queen. My body jumps, my smile is an axe. He hears voices at night while roommates sleep in the other room. Shares this before taking my bishops. Depression is a liar, a gossip. Grief says, I'll become lonely, destitute, searching for bifocals under the bed. He talks of lousy insurance, the state of the economy, co-pays of $1,000, the orbit around a lost family. The voice is telling him he's the devil. In my office, I pray to get cancer. The doctors go for lunch. The pawns are dead. And this is dedicated to Flatbush, Brooklyn, and it's called 1989, when I first started working there. Okay. Clear plastic vials the size of hornets, red, yellow, or blue caps, once holding baking soda cooked with cocaine. These strewn coffins dot parking lots where city employees have Fords and Hondas. Oak trees watch. Clinic patients yell ghost tooth myths, skipping through fiery coals of thought, fingertips burned from a pipe's hot glass stem in perpetual ochre. Young nurses exhausted. In 1989, a hunted girl face slashed off Clarkson by a kid, his booked passage into the local gang of Red who would let him deal. Youngsters, birds of prey, helping their mothers buy laundry soap on Parkside Avenue. And in 2009, it's rows of two family homes attached like childhood friends, fresh brick, paved over gardens for 2 Camrys each, a couple of elms, and every entrance now gated with decorative wrought iron grills. A son in college, a girl in medical school, the crack addicts gone, K2 lurking behind the hedges. And John Robert Lewis died this year, so I have this poem dedicated to him. I wrote this a while ago, actually. Okay. He was pinned to God, the way a mother pins a child's address onto a coat, or an exile carries a suitcase for his elderly father. This is not much else to do but grasp the obligation. So when he came to Pettus Bridge, blocked by policemen with raised batons, he flew forward into the bloody sticks, cast like Jonah into the whale, for he had a message to send Nineveh. Nothing was going to keep him back. And this is called To Lou, and this is about hoping for retirement, which would be very nice. Okay, this is called To Lou. You asked me to write a poem about retirement. Instead, I drew a jagged yellow amoeba. Its lightning glare, its exposed fangs. I know rage like I know my mouth, biting down on the snakehead of memory. Can retirement kill all those giant snakes? Can the blaring lights of flashbacks go dark on the beach, no longer entering assigned wards the scenes of countless crimes? Where doctors filled crossword puzzles instead of looking at patients? Will my nights go quiet? That's why I think about death. The ground, a bed of feathers, Ortiz cotton lined with ermine pelts, the princess and the pea, minus the lagoon, a lawn chair in heaven. Yes, in heaven. My body no longer attacked in day halls while nurses hide in bathrooms. No more trips to the emergency room rolled in on a gurney. No more neck injuries healed on workman's comp. Lou, I have 6 more years, 6 more birthdays, a long fucking marathon. A walk to 62. You say I curse in my dreams, hit the bed, scare the cats. You can only blame it on sleep, the unconscious. I could do it, Lou. I know I can make it. I'm reading The Second Coming in 2019. Walking down the filthy steps of the dirt-stained stairwell, touching the gray walls blindly. I am in the days of troubles, reading Yeats, The Center Cannot Hold, foreshadowing Nazis and Stalin, his exquisite chain of words, a necklace for rice cooker bombs and Kevlar book bags, our own nerves, muscles tight, flex for power the high alert hours, or listening for the active shooter. Till the mental hospital mirrors your heart and you find yourself collecting food, water, checking your pipes, looking for lead, as the 45th president calls himself the Second Coming in the broadband width of white supremacy. Paper is crumpled in my hand. The Second Coming is Xerox for friends, a game, a Paul Revere warning us the worst is coming. I need alcohol, crave sex, love to take the edge off breath. The darkness drops again. And I am astounded by its beauty and verse, so prescient, so I cry while thrilled. So this is one for around Christmas time. It's called Untitled. Gray blue sunlight. Oh no, that is not the poem. Here it is, December 10th. Light bulbs festoning the stretched wire. The smell of pines scenting the snow. The young men from upstate selling 8-footers with their vinyl gloves. The women shivering in the trucks. Coffee everywhere, warming hands that still remain pink. My grandfather's fingers retraced, his arms sore, shoveling coal, Bayonne, New Jersey, from the heavy wagons. Their fingers deep in the dark reach of winter work, holding a thermos under the dashboard. And that's it. Thank you everybody.
Hello again. In honor of our upcoming elections, I'd like to share a few pieces of my own with you. The first one is a song, Because I Am Not. And the second one is called Is There Life on Mars, which of course is a stolen title. It's with apologies to David Bowie and also to my son Nathaniel. And the last one, Is There Life on Mars, is from my new book, Mount Eden Avenue. Is there life on Mars? Will the bug that bites me light on you? Is there life on Mars? What ho, foreign wars! Getting food in jars, looking through the bars, wishing for more stars. Will the flood that drowns me fill you too? Is there life on Mars? What traps bunch us stuck in this new stew? Right or wrong, reverse and false or true? Do I channel your genetic pile of herring daring do? Is there life on Mars? Thank you so much for being with us. And we'll look forward to seeing you next year, 2021. Stay safe and healthy.